Hey guys, welcome to Inside the Mind of Diva. It's me, Heather. Sorry I haven't been around much. I'm on bed rest. I'll let you know that in a minute. If anybody's following my first channel, you already know what's wrong with me. But I wanted to make this for Inside the Mind of a Diva so you know the struggles of what I go through with the autoimmune. You know, this channel was based on everything that makes me up. The good, the bad, the ugly, the amazing, everything to be documented. So I haven't been feeling good. For anybody who's new to the channel, was good. I'm Heather. Um, I have multiple autoimmune diseases. I have diffuse scleroderma, which is a rare, deadly, shitty disease. I have neuromyelitis optica, which is super rare. It's like MS, but on complete steroids and rare. And oh my god, it's insane. Lupus, I have other things, but I haven't not been. This past year's been hard. For 12 months exactly, I've been struggling with a very high sed rate. My balance been off. Like, it's been a shit show, bro. Like, it's been. So I've been not feeling good for a very long time, months. And I ended up not feeling good so badly that Saturday I went to the hospital and I found out I had pulmonary embolisms. So it was a bunch of DVD clots that ran through my body and ended up in my lungs. Probably had small strokes, who knows. It would explain my forgetfulness and all that other stuff. But it's been a struggle. Breathing is hard. Blood thinners are a godsend, but they do cause bad stuff. But when I went through all of that, when I finally got a blood thinner, it's Levinox. It's a shot. Shots are easier for me to do. My GI system is so sensitive with pills, and I'm afraid of stomach ulcers. Like, I just don't know. Blood thinner, stomach ulcers, that's deadly. So I'm trying to avoid it as much as possible. But I do that twice a day and it burns. Yes, it does. That's normal. But it's weird because I want to state, guys, it's like before Friday and Saturday happened, before that, the symptoms was like how an autoimmune flare-up is. I'm going to be real with you. So it was really hard to know. Even my doctors had it in the back of their mind, but there was no like, bam, you got to go now until Friday, Saturday. So even like in my shoulder, it feels like a muscle strain. It's not. It's pulmonary embolism, which is insane. It felt like a boa constrictor was slowly wrapping around my entire diaphragm and tightening it. But I couldn't lay on my left like I am right now. I couldn't lay on it. I couldn't lay straight on my back. The pain was so excruciating, like the back pain. It feels like your back's in spasm. So what happened is that it's a mess. But I had on my lower lobe of lung was collapsed. There was a trace of what is it called? I'm gonna have to do a live and sit down and talk to you guys about this to give you more information, because there needs to be more advocacy about this. It could happen to anybody. They tested me. Yes, it was due to my autoimmune. I have shitty luck. When you get this done, normally they test you, period. They test everybody. How did this happen? Normally it's number one surgery that causes this. I haven't had surgery recently because I haven't felt good. So I've been skipping out on my surgeries, which thank God I did that. My primary was like, I'm so glad you followed your gut, Heather. And I'm like, I told you guys it just wasn't feeling, something was off. I knew something was off. But surgery is number one. Any surgery can cause this, which is freaking nuts. You know what happened to Serena Williams? Like, that girl is fit. But, I mean, I was an athlete too until last year. But she had a long flight. No, she had knee surgery or something like that. That's how she got it. It's super common, guys. But, like, up to 20,000... No. It's 200,000 people die every year from it. You just die from it. It's so scary. Now, my son's birthday's today. He's 17. He's really mad. He's not going to be a kid much longer. Like, I've never seen somebody so mad about that. I was like, dude, most people look forward to an adulthood. He goes, I see what you go through. I was a single mom, you know. I took care of my kids, did everything myself, ran myself into the ground. And I think my kids are afraid. It's scary to be an adult at first. It really is. But having this happen to you is surreal. I'm a very active person usually. And this past 12 months, it's been really hard. I kept fracturing my bones. My bones would crap out on me. Like, it was just a huge downfall. And my primary's like, all right, spit out your questions. She's like, I want to answer all of them for you to help you. Because I've never been through this. So I don't know what's right, what's not right, like what's normal, what's not normal. And I told them when I got the blood thinner at the hospital, I felt so much better. Holy crap. It was like I went from extremely shitty to like, cool, let's do this. But I realized taking a short walk wins me out. I'm in sinus tachycardia right now due to it. It's normal. My blood pressure, when I went to the doctor yesterday, she was like, Heather, bro. So our city is called Oneonta City of Hills. Not good for pulmonary embolisms, I'll tell you that much. But she's like, you walked here? I literally am only up the block. Like, for a normal person, that'd be the quickest visit ever. But my blood pressure was like 170 over almost 100. It was bad. And they were like, high blood pressure is common with this, guys, just so you know. Especially when you overwork yourself. But before I left, how you're technically supposed to do your blood pressure, you're supposed to sit up, but you're supposed to like rest your arm level to your chest. Like, you know, when you sit in the chair to get your blood pressure done at the doctor's office, but the bed that they have right there where people lay down and get examined, you just put your arm right on that. And then they check your blood pressure. And my blood pressure before I left was 120, which was great. It was great. So, it's crazy because she was like, I can't figure out why you had a high blood pressure all of a sudden. And high blood, I mean, like it was 140 staying that way forever. Now they know it's because of this. Now it's starting to climb down. And I'm like, thank God. But, you know, making my videos, it's imperative. And I'm going to put way more effort into this channel than my first channel now because people need to get the information. I'm 36. I've known people that were 20 that had this done. Birth control. Okay, so I was good. Sorry, guys, I get scattered sometimes. So surgery is number 1. Long plane rides is number 2. Number 3 is always birth control. Now I'm on the depot shot. The depot shot has no estrogen. So it's like 5% chance you can get a blood clot. And my primary is like, so how do you feel about getting off of it? I'm like, I want to get off of it. But the reason I was put on it was not because of birth control purposes, because I had my tubes tied. I'm like, she knew this, that it was to control my periods. They're so bad. Where like I'm iron deficiency and anemic. Like, so it's bad. And even she said that when I stop the shot, if my periods get so bad, they're going to have to do surgery. And they're just going to have to do a hysterectomy. And I'm like, great. And surgeries cause blood clots. I'm like, you guys trying to kill me here? She's like, I don't want you on the depot shot anymore. I'm like, I don't want to be on it either. It's unlikely for somebody to get it for that reason. But it adds to it. If you get it from somewhere else, it doesn't make it better. It doesn't. Just like technically smoking doesn't cause this unless like you're a chain smoker, which never been a chain smoker in my life. It's more like what I do when I'm stressed. But I was like, when we're all settled with this, I'm like, can you please start me on the patch for quitting smoking? But like a level 2, because I really don't need level 1 like that. That'd be more than I would smoke anyway. It would be insane. She's like, yeah, when everything settles down, maybe fall, we'll check in, make sure everything is good, and we'll start you on the quitting smoking. I always wanted something to push me. The one thing I regret in life is smoking cigarettes. It's the one and only thing I did because everybody else was doing it when I was younger, and I hated it at first. I was like throwing up from it. Why I kept going up stupid, guys. I didn't say I was a bright teenager. Street smart, yes, but that's the one thing in my life I ever did because of somebody else. And I regret it every day of my life. I hate the smell of it. I hate the smell of smoke. You can ask my husband. You can ask my kids. I bitch about the smell of smoke. I find it disgusting and I smoke. That's the funny part. But right now I can't completely quit because I'm already in sinus tachycardia. If I were to cold quit turkey right now, I might have a heart attack. So I can't do that. So it was hard. Okay, here's the downfall. In my doctor's office, the whole facility we use, hospital and doctor, it's my Bassett. Now, you always get the test results the same time. The doctors don't release it. It's the same time the doctors do. Because they believe in being in full control of your health, you seeing what the doctors see, you being informed, and I have respect for that. But I think in severe cases where somebody could find out something terrible, should be told by the doctor. Because I was sitting at the hospital, I got the test, the D-dimer test for, pulmonary embolism stuff, was at 1,300. So the average is between 300 and 500 for like a normal. So if you want to go to the normal, which is 300, mine was like way so much higher than that. That was surreal. I'm not gonna lie, like that was scary. But as soon as when I saw the results, and somebody brought me to the hospital, they were with me, and they saw my face, I just bursted out crying. And then as I hear the results, I hear over the loudspeaker, tornado warning. I'm like, what is with God today? I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like messaging my kids, and my son's like, Mom, you stay right at the hospital. We are fine. You told us and taught us so many times what to do in case if this happens. We are okay. Your health comes first. Don't ever come back home until you're feeling better. So they were going to keep me. Technically, I'm considered a low risk. Wouldn't have gone that far. But they were like, how do you feel about staying in the hospital? I'm like, if I have to, absolutely. Do I want to? I'm not going to get rest here. And she's like, well, the only reason why I would say you staying is because in case your insurance, because I'm going to be real, guys, insurance companies are a-holes. Somebody could have pulmonary embolisms. They could be dying. And they're like, insurance is like, no, we're not covering it. It's someone's life. You're not God, bro. Like, when it comes to big things, you should not ever deny that. Like, that pisses me off. But she was like, that's the only reason why I would say I'd rather you stay here for a day to just make sure it's okay and covered and all that. And I was like, well, I looked it up, and Lovenox was covered. I saw it. It was completely covered. She's like, I'm going to give you your shot now. As soon as when they open in the morning, get it, immediately give you the other shot. Which it was. They only had 4 in stock, 4 shots. So that's 4 dosages, which is 2 days. But Scott is my favorite homie in the world. He's the head pharmacist at Walgreens. And he was like, don't worry, I already ordered you. You got it all coming in a day. So don't stress it. Don't worry about it. You're good. So I literally had a fucking box. Like, I got an entire paper bag filled with boxes of this stuff. So my primary said that they're going to do a whole bunch of more testing, and they're going to find out what's the best. So everybody's body's different. So they're going to do a test to see which is the best blood thinner for me and my body type and what I go through and all that. She said most people end up getting switched to Coumadin. It's one of the best ones you can be on, because I'll be on it for life. When you have an autoimmune disease that causes blood clots, which lupus, scleroderma, they all cause it, you have to be on it forever. And that scares me. It scares me because I do get stomach ulcers often. That's why it scares me. And I know I probably won't see another couple of years. And that scares me. I don't want to start crying again. I don't care about me. I care about my kids. I was their parent that they were closer to. I was the person that was their mom and dad. We are so tight, me and my kids. And I can't even imagine being them and being devastated like that. I don't want to do that to them. I'm going to do everything I can to do my best to stay alive. I feel so bad because my kids just keep checking on me. And they were like, Thomas, the day I came home from the hospital, just laid right next to me and held my hand the whole time. And he was like, Mom, just know that I love you. And I was like, dude. It's surreal when your autoimmune diseases start progressing. Because I was doing so good. But I ended up in a really bad flare-up due to a PTSD trauma I had. The fucking flare-up lasted a year. My stutter rate was bad. It wasn't controlled. It just sucks. And it's so crazy because what it feels like to have a pulmonary embolism, and everybody's different. In my case, they said my symptoms were rare, but it happens. But it's so scary how it could just feel like a pulled muscle. It can, it could feel like a viral infection at first. You get the chills, you get the aches, and then you're like, all right, it's probably because I'm getting sick or whatever. And all of a sudden, in just less than 24 hours, it turned really bad. And I was like, something's wrong. And everybody just made me go to the hospital. And that saved my life. I've read testimonies where people had that pain I had for months. And doctors were like, oh, you have pneumonia, or you have, a pulled muscle or broken ribs. Because it does feel like broken ribs. No joke. It felt like that on my left side. And you could see the swelling in my ribs. doctors don't think, hey, let's check for pulmonary embolism for a young person. And people die all the time from it. And it's so heartbreaking because nobody deserves to die from this. And to not know and you're just dead one day. This made me wake up to a lot of stuff. There needs to be more advocacy on this, more transparency. Because they're just like, oh, smoking causes it. Not really. It really doesn't. I mean, if you packs a day, chain smoke, sure. But this can happen to anybody at any time. At any time. It's just no rhyme or reason sometimes. Sometimes there's underlying conditions that people didn't even know they had. It's a lot of things. It's a lot. But it's hard for me. Like, for the last year, I just wanted to go exercise again. I miss being me. I miss being athletic. I miss playing sports. I can't even play sports ever again, by the way. Because you can with blood thinners. But, like, I just miss being me. And this last year has been the most trying 12 months of my life. And I don't mean like as of start of 2023. I mean this time, 2022, all the way through right now, 12 months straight, it has been a fucking nightmare. And I keep trying to push through it. I didn't know my body had a ton of blood clots. And I just kept pushing and I couldn't understand why I'm having such problems. Like, I just want my kids to be okay. Like, I worry about them so much. And I came from a broken home myself. But I know what it's like to be a kid. And something like this would be traumatic. Like, already what they went through with their father years ago, whatever, when they were little, was traumatic enough. Like, they don't need anything else. Leave them, like, just let them be, bro. Stop causing, like, more bad stuff on them. I feel for them. Because for years they've had to watch me suffer with my autoimmune. When my gallbladder exploded, stones in my liver duct. And they asked me, they're like, you sure it's not stones in your liver duct? I'm like, no, that's different pain. Stones in your liver duct, no joke, hurt worse than this, I'm not going to lie. Which makes me scared. But when my gallbladder exploded, I had stones in my liver duct. It literally felt like a knife was already inside of me, just constantly stabbing me. You couldn't even try to catch your breath if you tried. And anytime you ate something, it'd make it worse. Like, I mean, even like a bite of like a piece of pretzel would even do it. It was horrible. And I knew how hard it was on them. I was in the hospital for weeks. So, but again, I was misdiagnosed. People are like, oh, you're young, you're fine, you're athletic, you're great, blah, 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 blah. You're young. There's no way that your gallbladder could have problems. It's probably IBS. Yeah, well, because too many doctors misdiagnosed me. The surgeon was so pissed. He goes, it is Doctor 101. First day you ever learn a bad thing. When anybody has upper right quadrant pain, you do a sonogram because it's always the gallbladder. And it is. It's so common to get your gallbladder out. I mean, I believe my whole dad's side of the family, we all have our gallbladder out. I do think there's something genetic. Absolutely. I think they're looking for something for another. Because, yes, scleroderma caused this. It's obvious. It was already tested, done. But is there a clotting factor that's caused by scleroderma that's hidden? So that's why I had to basically sign everything away so they can do the genetic testing. Because a lot of people don't want to know. And I think, how could you not want to know? I mean, it could save your child's life in the future. And it would be good to know for me. But I mean, like, when my kids get older, it could save their life. It could do all that. How could you not want to get it tested and save people's and your family's lives? People, your own family, their lives. How could you not want to know? And my primary is like, some people don't want to know. And I'm like, but it could save a life. Like, how could you not? I don't know. It's crazy. It's been a really royally crazy freaking journey. Even going to the bathroom, guys, I get winded, exhausted. So exhausted. Like, I feel like the energy in my, like, any kind of energy was sucked out of me. In a way, I'm glad finally it was figured out after I almost died. You could still die at any moment. I could still have more and die. And that scares the living shit out of me. Like, knowing that scares the crap out of me. And I just pray and hope everything's going to work out and be okay. And I'm able to help more people and be there for my kids, people who need me, that are trying to get help just like I did, and do all this. Like, I don't want to leave this world yet. It's not my time. And it's not fair. It's just the way life is, though. Is it ever fair? I don't know, guys. But I'm going to do everything in my best power, everything inside me to be better and healthier for my kids, to try to control my autoimmune diseases, because there's such evil, vengeful bitches inside me, I swear to God. Like, only I could destroy my own self, seriously. It's just crazy. People think they don't understand autoimmune, maybe. Autoimmune can kill you in many ways. Even people like, oh, it's just lupus. Lupus is deadly in itself, too, bro. Like, a lot of people are just, I don't know. But I wanted to keep you guys posted. I'm going to keep making videos at least once a week until I get my energy back up, so you guys stay informed, give you the information, and start mixing the stuff that I love to do once I can breathe a little bit better. And I actually have energy because I'm so exhausted. Like, it's so hard, guys. It feels like you've been punched in the lungs. And, like, you're so exhausted. Like, you just battled or worked out solidly at the gym for 8 hours. Literally is what it feels like. But if you guys ever have questions, you ever want to know details of what it felt like, I will eventually do that video. But I really don't want to relive it. That was pretty traumatizing, so I don't want to do that right now to make that video. But if you guys ever have any questions, just email me. I will always have in the description of the video, which is the arrow next to the title of the video. Click it, bring it down, it'll give you information. But if you feel something off in your body, if you feel something's up, get it checked. Get it checked. Who cares if you think they're going to judge you? Because I felt the same way. And my primary is like, Heather, you legit have a lot of problems. We're not going to think you're over-exaggerating. I don't know. I just feel like hospitals treat me like shit usually. I got very lucky with this nurse practitioner, Emily. Emily, if you ever come across my videos, you are amazing. Because even she said the way it presents, in my case, it's rare. Normally, it would show differently. And she automatically knew to do the testing. She automatically knew what to do. She had a hunch, but she didn't want to tell me until it was verified. And if it wasn't for her, because I would have just been ignored. I know I would have. I've been to that hospital a ton of times, and they've always ignored me. You know, is when I was diagnosed with epileptic appendicitis, guess what causes that? DVT, usually. They didn't even test me for that. They did not do the DVT sonogram to check me. Like, nothing was done. So, transparency and advocating for certain conditions and people and getting the word and awareness out there is so important. So important, guys. It's so, bro, it's so needed. Next week, if I'm doing better and I'm not back in the hospital, I'm doing a giveaway on this channel. And it's for men or women. Anybody can use it, but I'll explain more to you guys. I'm also trying to think of a good Mother's Day giveaway, but one thing at a time, baby steps. But I hope you guys are doing far better than me. I love you guys. If you ever need me, just message me. Throw a comment. Comment, like the video. Anything at all. Because I want to keep boosting this channel. Get the awareness out there. Because I know there's people that have gone through it. And I'm going to break down each disease and what feelings and symptoms I get with them to help others. Because I know a lot of people try to fight to get tested for autoimmune. And it could take up to 5 years, guys. And bad things happen in between all that. It's awful. Oh my God, it's awful. And a lot of them, I'm not going to lie, most doctors are very uneducated with some of the diseases. Like, it's insane and a little scary that they're that uneducated. I don't know, something needs to get better. But I love you guys. Please stay safe and healthy. Don't forget, self-care matters. Even if it's when your kids go to sleep, 30 minutes, you read a book, or, you take care of your skin, you do your thing. Do something for you, because it does boost your quality of life. It lessens the anxiety and stress levels, and it makes you feel good about yourself. Men and women. I love you guys. Later.